been released
Imagine
here
a world
with
where every
bleeps in
moment
it.
of your
It
day is
certainly
devoted
Do you
to the
want to write
pursuit of
something in your
pleasure.
paper? You
Think
tell
about
the
the
kids
promise
that
of
I say
constant
not to buy it.
gratification,
You
an
tell them that's
endless
against
stream
my
of
wishes,
entertainment
and I
distractions
fought
and
and fought for
indulgences
this song
designed to
not to be
satisfy
censored.
your
Let me
every
just say, by the
craving.
way, that the single
Now
that
ask
Paddy's talking about
yourself,
is
what
the
price would you
B-side
pay
of the
for
new
this? Could the
single, My
relentless
Generation.
chase for
Very old
happiness
Pete Townshend
lead
song.
not to
Yeah.
liberation, but to enslavement?
It has
How
this
the
line,
pursuit of
I
pleasure
don't
as
need no
warned by
fucking
Aldous
shit.
Huxley
Hope I die
may become
because
a
of it,
form of
because it was
modern
live.
slavery.
And they
We
bleeped
will
it, and that's
explore
not how it's
timeless
supposed to
wisdom
be.
and contemporary psychology to reveal
They're
how our
two very
desire for
important
comfort,
American
ease,
slang
and
terms. They're
gratification
nothing but
might
slang.
be
They've been
quietly robbing us
abstracted
of
from
our
the
freedom
physical
and
act. When
humanity.
people say
By the
fucking
end of
shit, they
this
don't think of a
video,
big
we will
turd or two
share the
people
most
making it
profound
anymore. It's just
insight, a
words,
perspective that could change the
Rock
way
and
you see
roll,
your
or
life
whatever it's
forever.
called, is
Let
like
us embark on this
my
journey
art.
into
Government
understanding
doesn't
the
know
hidden
shit,
dangers of
whether it's
pleasure
art or
and
not.
how we can
And that's the
reclaim our
whole thing.
freedom
Rock
in a
and roll
world
is still
determined to keep us chained
warfare.
to fleeting
Total warfare all the
desires.
time. You're always fighting.
Aldous Huxley, in
Always
his
fighting.
seminal work, Brave New World, paints a chilling picture of
People
a
got very
dystopia
upset when
where
they thought I
humanity
moved
has
into rock and
surrendered
roll,
its
stopped being a
autonomy for
poet,
the
started
illusion
being
of
a rock and
happiness.
roller. But they
Citizens are
forget that
pacified with
the
soma,
first
a
time I
drug that
ever performed
ensures they are
poetry,
always
I was with
content
Lenny,
no
and
matter
he was
how
playing
meaningless their
guitar.
lives
The
have
second
become.
time was with Sam Shepard, he
Huxley's
was
world
playing
was not built
drums.
on chains or
I've
prisons,
actually
but on
never
pleasure
really
so
experienced
intoxicating that
poetry
no one
without
bothered to
something
resist. This, he
behind it.
argued, is the
I
most
just grew it,
insidious form
flowered,
of
it
control. Now
transcended.
reflect on the society we live in
What about the
today.
final
From the
contact,
constant
Paddy,
ping of
with Rambo?
notifications to the endless scroll of social media, aren't we too being offered our own version of psychologists like Mayali, known for his work on the concept of flow? Warn us that while technology can create moments of engagement, it also traps us in cycles of addictive behaviors. Algorithms feed us tailored pleasures, videos, advertisements, and content that keep us hooked, but ultimately leave us empty. Take a moment to think, how often do you turn to your phone for a quick hit of joy, only to find hours have passed, leaving you feeling more drained than fulfilled? The pursuit of pleasure has a dark side that modern psychology calls the hedonic treadmill. This concept reveals that no matter how much happiness we achieve, we quickly adapt to it, returning to a baseline level of contentment. Whether it's a new car, a delicious meal, or even a thrilling experience, the joy fades and the craving for the next fix begins. In Huxley's terms, we become prisoners to our own desires, constantly chasing a satisfaction that remains just out of reach. This isn't merely a theoretical issue. Research shows a troubling correlation between the rise of modern conveniences and declining mental health. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Affective Disorders found that excessive screen time, particularly on social media platforms, is linked to higher rates of anxiety and depression. What's even more alarming is how this cycle feeds itself. The more disconnected and unhappy we feel, the more we seek solace in the very devices that perpetuate our misery. What is the true cost of this endless pursuit of pleasure? Philosopher Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and the author of Man's Search for Meaning, argued that genuine fulfillment comes not from chasing happiness, but from finding purpose. He believed that when individuals lack meaning in their lives, they are more likely to seek distractions, which only deepens their existential void. Ask yourself, are you living a life of purpose, or have you unknowingly allowed the pursuit of pleasure to dictate your choices? This question is not merely philosophical, it's profoundly practical. Every day we are faced with decisions. Should we binge another series or spend time with loved ones? Should we scroll aimlessly or invest in our personal growth? These small moments, seemingly inconsequential, accumulate into the framework of our lives. Aldous Huxley once remarked, most human beings have an almost infinite capacity for taking things for granted in the pursuit of constant pleasure. We risk taking for granted the deeper joys of existence, relationships, creativity, self-discovery, and contribution to something greater than ourselves. This brings us to a powerful insight. Pleasure, when pursued recklessly, does not lead to freedom. Instead, it creates chains that are invisible but no less real. These chains bind us to habits, cravings, and distractions that sap our energy, time, and potential. As we continue, we'll explore the hidden systems that thrive on our addiction to pleasure and how we can break free from them. But for now, reflect on this. Are you living as a free individual, or are you merely a consumer in a world that profits from your desires? Let this thought guide you as we move deeper into this journey of understanding and self-liberation. What lies ahead will challenge the way you see not only the world, but also yourself. Imagine a marketplace where the currency is your attention in this world. The most valuable commodity isn't gold, oil, or even technology. It's you. Every moment you spend scrolling, clicking, or consuming, you're not just engaging with content, you're being bought and sold. Welcome to the attention economy, a system that thrives on your addiction to pleasure and keeps you locked in an endless cycle of consumption. To understand how deeply this system controls us, we must look at how it exploits our biology. Neuroscientist Dr. Robert Spolsky, an expert in stress and dopamine research, has revealed that our brains are wired to seek rewards every time we experience something pleasurable. Our brain releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter that reinforces behaviors, whether it's the satisfaction of likes on a post, the excitement of a new purchase, or the rush of winning a game. This dopamine hit creates a feedback loop that keeps us coming back for more.
I used to have a pair of shoes like that.
The anticipation of
When I
pleasure
worked at the
often
Garrick
releases
Theater.
more dopamine
You must have got them at the same place, 6th Avenue.
I don't know where they came from. They were given to me. But mine were all covered with dead vegetables and whipped cream by the end of the season.
that keeps us hooked in this way. The attention economy turns us into perpetual
It's funny, the guy who sold me these, that's what he had to take off of them.
Think about how this
Boil them a little
manifests
bit.
in your daily life. Have you ever found yourself checking your phone without even realizing it or craving
For a long
something
time, you've been in
snack
New
video?
York and then went to LA. Why? I mean, what's...
I served my time in New York.
They're carefully engineered
What do you mean?
experiences
I didn't
that
like it
stress
that
the
much while I
parents
was here.
before
and
Google
I'd like
design
California a lot
ethicists
better.
explains
It was so
platforms are
depressing
designed
during the
to
time I
exploit
was
our
here. I really hate to come
vulnerabilities.
back.
They create
I don't know,
what
I
he
always
calls
find LA and New
variable
York
rewards,
sort of similar.
a
And it's
mechanism
like the same
borrowed from
hustles
slot
going
machines to
down
keep
in
us
both
addicted.
places.
Ain't no
Now let's
hustle where
connect
I
this to
live.
Aldous Huxley's vision
I
in
got
Brave
a
New World.
place with a bunch of trees
Pursuit of
around it,
pleasure
with
wasn't
some
just a personal
space.
failing.
I don't
It
have
was a
to
societal
shuffle
tool
around
for
the street and
control.
walk over
People were so
people who have pissed
consumed
all
by
over
their
themselves
desires
and
that
are
they
laying
didn't
down there in the
notice or care
gutter, and
about the loss of
policemen
their
coming along,
autonomy.
beating them on the legs,
Today,
screaming at them to
we
get up,
face a
and
similar
dogs
threat.
all
While we
over the
may not be
place.
taking as
It's just a
we are
little different in
inundated
Los
with
Angeles.
digital distractions that serve the same purpose to pacify us and keep us compliant. But why does
I'm
this
wondering
matter
if
so
in the
much?
touring
Because the
around,
pursuit of
whether you
pleasure
started
when
to
left
notice
unchecked
something, a
doesn't
kind
just
of
rob us
more
of time.
political
It steals our
consciousness of the
potential when we
audiences.
prioritize
That's
fleeting
superficial.
gratification
Yeah.
over meaningful
Yeah,
pursuits.
I really believe that.
We
It's
sacrifice
as
the
superficial
opportunity
as
to
their
grow,
musical
learn, and
consciousness.
contribute.
It's just
Both
another
are
aspect
Cal
of
Newport in his
being
book,
involved in
Deep Work,
the
highlights
actions
how
of their peer
shallow
group.
engagement with
One guy in the
technology
group says, "Hey,
improves our
politics," and they go,
ability to focus and
"Yeah,
achieve mastery.
politics." Or they
He
go,
argues
"Grand
that
Funk
the
Railroad,"
greatest
and they go,
rewards in
"Yeah,
life come not
Grand
from
Funk
easy
Railroad."
pleasures, but from
It's the same
steady
thing.
effort
And you
deep
don't see
concentration.
really any real
Consider
change
this.
that's
How
gone
much
down?
of your time is
Sure, I see a
spent
lot
on
of changes,
activities that truly
but I
enrich
think
your
that they're all
life?
temporary
How often
things,
do
and
you
that
prioritize
any
immediate
change for the good is
satisfaction over long-term
always
fulfillment?
subject to cancellation
These questions
upon the
aren't meant to
arrival of the
shame,
next
but to
fad.
awaken.
And the same thing with
Recognizing
any
our
change for
patterns
the
is the
worst.
first step
You have a nation of
toward
people who
reclaiming
are
our
waiting for
freedom.
the next big
And
thing
yet
to
breaking
happen.
free is
How about
easier
before
said
each
than done.
concert, though? Do you
A
have to
system
get
like that
yourself
doesn't
up
just
to do
encourage
it? Do you
pleasure
think, oh
seeking.
God, those
It
idiots out
mobilizes
there?
it from
No, I don't think,
advertisements
"Oh God,
promising
those idiots
instant
out there," until I
happiness to
find out they're
cultural
idiots.
messages,
You know,
equating
I
success
give them the
with
benefit
material
of the
wealth.
doubt.
We are constantly told that more is better. Philosopher Eric Evarn in his book
This is
To
just something
Have
from
or
out
to
of
Be
left
Warned of This
field.
Trap.
The
He
whole
argues
women's lib
that modern
thing.
society's
Yeah.
obsession with
Has that
possession
touched
over
you at
being
all? Has
leads
any
to a
people said, how
superficial
come you don't have
existence
any
where
girls in
true
the group?
joy is
Women,
replaced by
pardon,
the
women
hollow
in the group?
satisfaction of
Yeah, somebody
ownership.
asked me that last night, as a matter of fact.
What then
How come
is
you
the
don't?
alternative?
Well, I just don't think it's
It
practical.
begins with
It's
a
not
shift in
practical?
mindset
No, not for
from
what we
seeking
do.
pleasure to seeking
It's just not
purpose.
practical. I don't
This
think that
doesn't
there's
mean
a girl
abandoning
around
joy
that would
or
fit in with what we do.
indulge, but
And I
rethinking their
don't
role
like
in
to
our
change
lives, as
personnel all the
psychologist
time, but it
Martin
does seem to
Seligman,
happen.
the father of positive
And I would hate to
psychology,
stick a
has
girl
shown
in,
that
get new
fulfilling
publicity
lives are those
photos,
centered
and then
on
have the
meaning,
poor thing
engagement,
bomb
and
out in the
relationships.
middle of a tour.
Pleasure is
Has
a
it
part
touched
of
you at
this
all,
equation,
women's lib?
but it
I
is
mean, do you
not
think
the
of it as a
whole.
valid
Take a
movement or
moment to
just a
evaluate
fad
what
also?
brings you
Just a
true
fad
joy,
also.
not the
Really,
fleeting
huh?
kind
Sure.
that fades
Which is
with
not to say
time,
it's bad
but
if
the
it keeps them off the
lasting
street,
satisfaction that
keeps them
comes from
occupied.
creating,
How do
connecting,
you
and
personally, though,
contributing.
think about
Can
women?
you
Do
identify
you think a
one
woman's
area of
place
your
is
life
the
where you're
home? Is that
prioritizing
basically how you
short-term
see it?
gratification
No,
over
some women are
long-term
very
growth? And
badly
as we
suited to
delve
being
deeper,
in the home.
we'll explore
And I don't
practical
think they
ways
should
to
be
break
there.
free from
They
the
should be in
chains
a
of the attention
factory
economy
or in a
and
library as a
rediscover the
librarian,
power of intentional
or even
living.
doing something
But for
more
now,
exciting,
hold on to this truth.
like show
The
business.
pursuit of
Women
pleasure
are
when
different,
unchecked
Each
becomes a
one
pursuit
has
of
their own
slavery to
sort
be
of
truly
qualification.
free.
I hate
We
to
must
think
learn
of
to discern
women as a
between
big
what
group because you
delights
can't
us and
judge
what
them that way.
destroys us.
But in most
The
instances,
answers
I
to
find
these
out that they're just
questions
really stupid
lie
people
not in the
who just
next
happen to wear
distraction, but in
dresses.
the quiet moments of self-reflection. Let's continue this journey together.
Why do you think America is so fad crazy then? Because you seem to see everything in terms of fads.
I think that's a reasonable way to look at it. Because it doesn't have any real sort of values, you know. And the fad provides you with a temporary occupation for your imagination. Really, it doesn't have any real culture. It doesn't have any real art. It doesn't have any real anything. It's just got fads and a gross national product and a lot of inflation.
that also puts you in as part of the fad, right?
I'm an American. I was born here. I automatically got entered in a membership in the club. They can compute me any way you want.
Alexis de Ville, in his analysis of democratic societies, warned that people might one day willingly surrender their freedoms for comfort and security. This is precisely the world Huxley envisioned in Brave New World, a society lulled into compliance not by fear or force, but by pleasure and distraction. Now look at our world every day. We are bombarded by promises of ease, smart devices that think for us, apps that deliver instant gratification, and a culture that glorifies convenience above all else. While these advancements make life more comfortable, they also make us more dependent the less effort we put into living. The more power we surrender to those who control these systems. But here's the hidden danger. This dependence doesn't feel like enslavement. It feels like progress. It feels good. And that's what makes it so dangerous. As Huxley wrote, a really efficient totalitarian state would be one in which the all-powerful executive of political bosses and their army of managers control a population of slaves who do not have to be coerced because they love their servitude. Think about how this applies to your life. How many decisions do you make freely, and how many are influenced, if not dictated, by algorithms, trends, or societal expectations? When was the last time you chose discomfort for the sake of growth, instead of opt for the path of least resistance? This is not just a personal issue. The consequences of a pleasure-obsessed culture ripple outwards, affecting relationships, communities, and even the planet. Philosopher Søren Kard described this phenomenon as the despair of the aesthetic life, where individuals seek beauty and pleasure at the expense of meaning and responsibility. He believed that true fulfillment could only be found by embracing the ethical life, a life of purpose, commitment, and higher ideals. Let's make this practical. Imagine two paths. One is paved smooth and easy to walk. It leads to a life of instant gratification, but little substance. The other is rocky, steep, and challenging. It requires effort and sacrifice, but offers the rewards of growth, connection, and legacy. Which path are you walking right now? Modern psychology backs Kierkegaard's insights. Studies show that people who prioritize intrinsic goals such as personal growth, relationships, and contribution report higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction than those who chase extrinsic rewards like wealth, fame, or status. Yet our culture constantly pushes us toward the latter. Why? Because a society built on consumerism depends on dissatisfaction. If you were truly content, you wouldn't need the latest gadget, trend, or product. This is why advertisers don't just sell products, they sell lifestyles. They make you believe that happiness is always just one purchase away. But here's the truth. No amount of external pleasure can fill an internal void. This is why so many people, despite having everything they thought they wanted, still feel unfulfilled. Psychologist K.L. Jung famously said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls." The relentless pursuit of pleasure is often a way to avoid the harder but more rewarding work of self-discovery. So how do we escape this trap? It begins with awareness. We must learn to recognize the systems and behaviors that keep us enslaved to pleasure. But awareness alone is not enough. We must also take action, deliberate, sometimes uncomfortable steps toward reclaiming our lives. Start small, turn off notifications, set boundaries with technology. Choose meaningful activities over mindless distractions. These actions may seem insignificant, but they are revolutionary in a world designed to keep you distracted. Ask yourself, what would your life look like if you prioritized meaning over pleasure? What habits or mindsets would you need to change to walk the path of growth, rather than gratification? As we move into the final part of this journey, we'll explore the most profound insight, the ultimate key to breaking free from the chains of pleasure. This revelation has the power to transform not just how you live, but who you are. Stay with us because the most important lesson is still to come. Let us now confront the heart of the matter. How do we reclaim our freedom in a world that thrives on our addiction to pleasure? The answer lies in understanding a profound truth. Real freedom comes not from doing whatever we want, but from having the discipline to choose what truly matters. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any." How this insight is a cornerstone of liberation when we anchor our lives to a deep purpose. The fleeting allure of pleasure loses its grip on us. Purpose acts as a compass, guiding us through distractions and temptations toward a life of significance. Consider the lives of those who have made a lasting impact. Visionaries like Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, or Martin Luther King Jr. Their greatness wasn't born from seeking comfort, but from embracing struggle in pursuit of something larger than themselves. They remind us that the most profound joys often come from acts of service, creativity, and perseverance, not from momentary indulgences. But how do we find our why in a world that pulls us in so many directions? Viktor Frankl offers a path forward in his work, Man's Search for Meaning. Frankl describes 3 sources of meaning: creating something of value, experiencing love and connection, and finding growth in suffering. Each of these avenues requires us to look beyond ourselves and our immediate desires, inviting us to engage deeply with life. Start by asking yourself these questions. What legacy do I want to leave behind? How can I use my strength to contribute to others when faced with difficulty? How can I transform it into an opportunity for growth? These are not easy questions, but they are transformative by seeking answers. You take the first steps toward breaking free from the chains of pleasure and stepping into a life of purpose. Now let's address the most important insight, the revelation that ties everything together. The pursuit of pleasure, while alluring, is ultimately a distraction from the deeper pursuit of meaning. True happiness, as Aristotle believed, comes from eudaimonia, the flourishing life. This is not a life of endless pleasure, but a life aligned with virtue, wisdom, and intentionality. But to live such a life, we must develop discipline. Discipline is the ability to choose long-term rewards over short-term gratification. It is the strength to say no to what is easy and yes to what is right. As author Ju Willink says, discipline equals freedom. It is through discipline that we gain mastery over our impulses and begin to live as creators of our destinies, rather than as prisoners of our desires. To cultivate discipline, start by building small, consistent habits. Wake up a little earlier to meditate or reflect. Set aside time each day to pursue a meaningful goal. Limit your exposure to distractions that drain your energy and attention. These small acts of self-control may seem insignificant, but they create a ripple effect, gradually reshaping your life. Here's another powerful practice. Embrace. Discomfort growth rarely occurs in comfort zones. Whether it's pushing your physical limits, learning a new skill, or facing a difficult truth, the willingness to endure discomfort is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who settle for mediocrity. Think about this: every time you choose discipline over indulgence, you strengthen your ability to live with purpose. Every time you resist the pull of distractions, you reclaim a piece of your freedom. These moments of choice, though small, are acts of rebellion against a world that profits from your complacency. As we conclude, let us return to Aldous Huxley's warning. He foresaw a world where pleasure would be used as a tool of control, where people would trade their freedom for comfort and their potential for convenience. But he also believed in humanity's capacity for awareness and resistance. You have the power to break free by choosing purpose over pleasure, discipline over indulgence, and meaning over distraction. You can reclaim your autonomy and live a life of true fulfillment. So what will you choose? Will you continue to follow the easy path dictated by fleeting desires? Or will you rise above, embracing the challenge of living with intention and purpose? The choice is yours. And remember, this journey isn't just about improving your life. It's about inspiring others to do the same. Share your thoughts, your struggles, and your victories together. We can build a world where freedom isn't a forgotten ideal, but a lived reality. This is your moment to awaken. The chains are invisible, but they can be broken. The path is steep, but it leads to greatness. Choose wisely and step boldly into the life you are meant to live.